Hello and welcome to the May Social Media Content Creation Club. How are we already at May? How are we already talking about May? It's ridiculous, really, isn't it? But we are. So May is the 5th month of the year of 2023.
Mayflowers, hopefully. Just a little bit of a quick introduction if you're here and you've not met us before or not been on one of these sessions. So my name's Kate, and along with Emma and Imelda and Sarah, we run Piece of Cake Marketing, and we've been doing that since 2016, believe it or not, for our sins. And we help lots of businesses with marketing, social media, and ideas, which is what we're here for today. So just a quick bit of housekeeping. So this club has lots of different elements to it. So this is the video to talk through May in terms of what you could talk about. But there is also a free Facebook group where we post lots of tips in there. So do make sure you join that. That is also the place to kind of ask any questions if you're having any issues or need a bit of help or advice. There is also a content plan that you can have, and there are also some Canva images and templates that Imelda has set up for everybody to have access to and then brand them accordingly. So if you need any of those, the best thing to do is to email hello@pieceofcakemarketing.co.uk, and you can fully join the club and have access to all of those fab things.
Okay. So let's get cracking with the content planner. So as Kate said, you can get one of our snazzy content planners if you just drop an email to hello@pieceofcakemarketing.co.uk. And that is a nice planner that we use in terms of looking at the month ahead and helps us to make sure that we have got a good spread of content. So included in our so the way in which we tend to work it is that we will have a look through our month, see what we're doing. Is there certain subjects that we want to cover, things like that? We'll plot all of those in our content planner for the month, and then there'll be some gaps. So we use the dates and the national days to try and fill in a few of those gaps across the month. What we would recommend is that you talk about 2 or 3 of those national days across a month, not for 1 minute expecting you to discuss them all. Some will be relevant to you, some won't be relevant to you. There'll be months where there's more national days than there are others. So for example, for May, there is a lot of bank holidays, and obviously you can talk about all of those because it's probably relevant to everybody. But you may also decide not to, and that it's not relevant for you. So let's talk through a few things that you could, a few national days that you could talk about this month. So May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. The 1st of May is my daughter's 12th birthday. Must remember that. There's always a birthday related to every video that I'm producing at the moment. And then it is also the early May bank holiday. So getting May off to a great start with a day off for lots of people, which is always the best way to start a month, in my opinion. So the 1st to the 7th of May is National Gardening Week. I'm sure Kate will be out in a garden that week.
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, there's lots of, so maybe you're a keen gardener, maybe you want to, if you're trying to add a little bit of personality into your LinkedIn profile, then maybe something around your garden. And as we've said previously, you don't need to necessarily talk about the fact that it's a national day. Some of these things might just give you inspiration of things that you could talk about and might flick a light bulb that say, yes, I'll talk about, Kate quite often talks about her garden and the work that she's doing in there and things like that. And so she won't necessarily tie it back to a national day or anything like that. But, but you could equally tie it back to the bank.
You could use it, couldn't you, in terms of like, so I don't know, I think that gardening is about, like, so all of the growth, that's what's exciting. It's watching things kind of come back to life and all of that kind of stuff. So it might be that you're a business coach or something like that, and you're looking to kind of talk about growth and how that works and the different times of the year. And so actually you might not even mention that it's National Gardening Week. You might just say, and talk about, personal growth and all of that kind of stuff. So all we're trying to do with the national days a little bit um, is help you kind of think differently, and give you ideas for different angles where you can talk about what is essentially the same thing, but with a different spin on it.
Yeah. Another thing would be, if you're an estate agent, what are the top 5 things you could do in your garden to make your house more appealing to buyers? The 2nd of May is International Harry Potter Day. So are you a Harry Potter geek, and do you know everything about it? Would your ideal audience know about it? Followed by the 4th, which is Star Wars Day. So both of these days I'm not particularly great on, but Kate, as the mother of boys, knows more about these things.
Well, and actually, probably from not so much Harry Potter, I would say, although I've watched most of the films, but Star Wars for me as a kid was a big favourite. So, in my opinion, the best film is what was originally the first one that came out in 1977, which was A New Hope. And I watched that on repeat as a child until my mum and dad recorded over it, and there was an almighty tantrum probably on my part because it had gone and I couldn't watch it anymore. So that has lots of childhood memories for me, Star Wars. And so yeah, I love watching that, and I'll always bring out the photo as well of me. Do you remember with the stormtrooper from
Oh yes.
from the student event? Because I was so, how excited was I that there was a stormtrooper there? Just ridiculous. But yeah, so
So
it's got lots of
you'll have to be in our group on Star Wars Day, because I'm sure Kate will post a picture of herself and the stormtrooper in there on that day.
um no, I don't know. I wonder whether I quite liked it as a child because of Princess Leia, and she was kind of like this, a strong female role model, I suppose. And so I watched it and watched her kind of, you know, try and battle the baddies, if you like. So it's probably something to do with that. But just loved it. Loved it.
Okay, so moving swiftly on, it is International Midwife Day on the 5th of May. Again, if you are in the parenting arena, child classes, those kind of things might be quite a nice one to talk about, or give a shout out to. And then we're going into our second bank holiday weekend of the year, which will be the 6th is the coronation of King Charles III and Camilla. So you're either into the royal family or you're not into the royal family. I suppose it's a bonus because everybody gets a day off regardless. But that will be going on, and I believe that that's on the TV on the Saturday the 6th. And then that's followed on the 7th by a coronation concert. So I'm assuming that's going to be like the Queen's birthday concert last year. And that will be screened on the TV. The 7th is also Laughter Day. So Kate loves a good joke, and so pop in. So if royalty isn't your thing, then you could just pop a nice joke out on there, or show a little bit of your humour. And the 8th is the Monday, which is the bank holiday. And that's being talked about as like the big help out. So that's all about volunteering. So do you volunteer? Is there a local organisation that needs volunteers that as a fellow business person you could help promote? So there's lots of ideas around volunteering there that you can perhaps incorporate in. Then from the 9th to the 13th, the Eurovision is heading to England and heading to Liverpool, as we do that on behalf of the Ukraine, I believe. So that will be quite good fun. Again, you're either a Eurovision person or you're not. I've got friends who have parties and all sorts, and do lots and lots of things. I think somebody's even possibly got a ticket to go to Liverpool for it this year. But again, it's something fun. And that is also it's also Mental Health Awareness Day that day. So again, there's lots of things that you can tie back in? So is it, you know, the gardening element that you could tie back in, and what helps improve your mental health, and all of those kind of things? Just being aware that people's mental health isn't always fantastic, and what are the different things you can offer as a service, or what support can you offer, or, you know, just showing that you have an awareness, a general awareness. The 12th of May is International Nurses Day. They do a fantastic job. So let's give them a round of applause. But again, it might be relevant, it might not be relevant to you. Please only tie back the things that you think are. And then the 13th is World Cocktail Day. We like a cocktail.
Yeah. What did we have the other week when we were out?
A
Porn
porn
star
star martini.
martinis.
But
Yeah.
we were a little bit concerned about the fact that they'd put like this paper wafer on the top of it, and it sort of stuck to your lip. So it looked beautiful, but wasn't that glamorous
Not
to drink.
practical, was it? Wasn't a practical cocktail. I
No.
always think that when they pop a bit of candy floss on, think this isn't going to be practical, is it? Or stick all the sugar around the edge. Just not practical, is it? Need a practical cocktail. What else would you drink? Is that your first choice, porn star martini, or would you go for something else?
So if I go to TGI's, then I like a silver Mercedes, and I like an ultimate silver Mercedes, but I think it'll set you back about £15 these days,
Wow.
which is a lot. Yeah, I like a porn star martini. I'm not one for an espresso martini or anything like
No, I was
that.
going to say that I don't like any of the coffee ones or anything like that.
Um,
Is there one called like English Garden? I think
oh,
they do that in the Cozy Club. That's quite nice. Or a mojito. I'd have a mojito.
yes, I like a mojito as well. I also like a raspberry daiquiri. I'll have strawberry as
Bit
well, but
sweet.
raspberry would be my
Yeah.
preference. Um, I'm sure I'll
Oh yeah, we
send you
could
all a
talk about that
picture
for
of one.
hours, couldn't we?
Yeah, whilst I'm on holiday. The 14th is National Children's Day. Again, if you're a child related business, then it might be one that you want to talk about. The 15th to the 21st is National Vegetarian Week. Are you vegetarian? Do you sell vegetarian products? Are you a pub? What are the what vegetarian options have you got on your menu and things like that? But again, quite a lot of
Or
different
you
things that you can.
growing your own veg or something like that. There's loads of ways you could kind of take a look at that.
The 16th of May is Freelance Heroes Day. So this is all about those people that have set up on their own, gone it alone. So, you know, people who are graphic designers, and all of those kind of one-man bands that, you know, have decided to go on their own. So is there somebody that you work with that you could give a shout out to on this day as a freelance hero? Are you a freelance hero yourself? Like I said, lots of different opportunities there. The 17th is then World Baking Day. Again, we could tie this back to mental health. Is baking something that helps you? Is it your ideal thing to relax doing? I've got one recipe, I think, and that's my mum's sponge cake. It's either 6663 or 4442. Dead simple. Also makes a
Yeah,
fantastic pineapple upside down cake by just adding the
mm,
pineapple. Um,
nice.
but you're a keen baker, aren't you, Kate?
Well, you kind of have to be here because they all like, well, it's chocolate based stuff. So, but I tend to just do a loaf cake now because it's just easier. So I do like a chocolate loaf cake, but it probably lasts for 2 days in this house and then it's gone.
Well, you better than our house, because I'll come back down and it'll have gone
Yeah.
straight away. The 22nd to the 28th is British Sandwich Week. What's your favourite sandwich filling?
Oh, probably. I think I'd probably go like cheese and tomato, something like that.
So there's nothing better than a white bread egg sandwich on a buffet. No, don't like them. But yeah,
It's the
like an egg.
smell. the eggy smell puts me off. I like eggs, but I can't eat them like that. So.
Yeah, no, love an egg sandwich on a buffet. You'll find me troughing back for 4 or 5.
Full of protein.
Yeah. And then the 22nd to the 27th is Chelsea Flower Show. You're not
Yeah,
going
so I
this
did
year?
go. No, I went. I went on the peculiar year, which was so obviously Chelsea Flower Show is normally May because that's when all of the, you know, the bedding plants and hanging baskets and stuff will all be there. But they did it in September post COVID because they had to cancel it and move it. So I did go and it was lovely because obviously they had to think a bit differently and do all of the other types of flowers and loads of pumpkins and things like that. But yeah, it's a nice day out. It's busy though, a lot busier than I anticipated. So when you want to kind of go and look at the gardens, there are just lots of people in front of you, and you've kind of got to wait till they move so you can then go in and kind of take a look. So I've kind of done it. So you know when you think you've done that, I won't
And
necessarily
then
go back.
finally, the 29th of May is National Biscuit Day and the last spring bank holiday. So what you could do is just stay in bed all day and eat biscuits.
Good.
It's one
Sounds like a
option.
plan. So here's a question for you, right, on biscuits. Is penguin just a bourbon dipped in chocolate?
Yeah, but I've never thought
Isn't
of
it?
it like that. And I wouldn't thank you for a penguin.
I don't know where I heard it. It might have been on the radio or something, but I was like, yeah, it is, isn't it? But I'd never really kind of considered the fact that it was just a bourbon with some chocolate on it.
Pick up a penguin. Or if you go to another supermarket, you might pick up a seal.
Yes. Mm. Which both taste exactly the same. Probably just be a pound's difference in the price. So we're
So
good when
they
it's
are
food related, aren't we? Food related for the month, aren't we?
and so that is everything that we've listed. They're all listed on our blog. So go along to our website and have a look at that if you need a reminder of any of them, and there'll be some further information about them and things like that. There may be a couple more that I've even skirted across. So go and have a look there.
So we have been talking a lot about email providers, mainly because we've recently moved to Flowdesk, and so have a lot of our clients. And so what we've been thinking a little bit more about is the email subject line and how we can get people to click on things. So just trying some different things. And so we just did a bit of research and have come up with some just some top tips really. And some of these are from our friends at Flowdesk. We thought they were quite useful, so we thought we would share them. So I'll just quickly run through them. So keep it short, try and keep it under 50 characters. People are always in a hurry, they don't necessarily skim read things, so you need to try and catch their attention. Capitalize only the first word. This keeps your outreach personal and casual, apparently. If you can, add an emoji in there and try and use action words. So I think in our email this month, we did something like open if you're not a fool, as in April Fool, and tried to just have a little bit of fun with it. So here they've put sort of open now and see what you've missed. You can use phrases to create urgency, like hurry, don't miss out, save your spot. It does say, and this is what I thought was quite interesting, something I've never thought of before, that if you use words like urgent or free in your subject line, you may find that they get picked up by spam filters. And so it might throw your email in there. So just think about that when you're using those. And if you can, in your actual opening subject line, what you call the title of the email, if you can use somebody's name in there, you might find that that makes it feel more personal to them and more likely to click. So with our example, we might have put Kate, comma, open if you're not a fool, or Kate, make sure you open this. And you do that on most of them by just using the merge tags, and you can Google kind of how to do that. But I thought they were all quite useful on ones, even though we've been sending emails for many years, it's always good to kind of go back and think about what we're doing.
And then the other thing that I'd say is if you get emails, just notice what you do yourself. So what makes you open an email or keep the
Mm.
email? So I follow a guy called Neil Patel, and quite often there'll be emails that I just delete, and there'll be emails that I keep and don't open because I know that I want to read what's in the email. So what stands out for you? And how can you then incorporate that? Let's face it, we can't all reinvent the wheel all of the time, but there's some great ideas out there that you could perhaps incorporate into your own email subject lines.
Yeah.
The one-page marketing strategy. So just this is like our added extra for the month. And what I'd say is that a lot of people create social media content. So creating social media content is the activity at the end, but they've not necessarily thought about the objective that they need at the start. So, and does that activity feed into that objective? So we've created this little marketing plan, one-page marketing plan. You'll find it over on our blog, and should be able to download the plan off there as well. If you can't, then feel free to drop us an email at hello, and we'll get it sent over to you. But it's just about what is your objective? What is it that you want to do? So we might say our objective is to get more people to come along to the Social Media Essentials Club. And that is our objective. Our goal is to add 50 new people into the club by the end of May, for example. So we've got a specific goal, specific target there. And then we're going to look. So we've got strategy 1, strategy 2, and strategy 3. So strategy 1 might be to get people to watch the video that we've produced. And so the activities that we might do there are, we might do a Facebook ad, run a Facebook ad to the video. We might share it in some groups that we think are appropriate. And we may do some SEO work, and send it out on our email, for example. So that's the kind of thing that we're trying to get you to think of. So what is your main objective? What is your goal? And what activities are you going to take part in to get people to actually reach that goal? And I think this is really important to look at before you are creating your content, because often we've got lots of different areas to our business. So for example, the Social Media Essentials Club is just one part to our business, and it could be that we're focusing on, or it might be that we are instead looking to focus on social media marketing strategy sessions. And so if we then don't think about what it is that we're looking for and then make sure that it's incorporated in our content, then it's sort of self-fulfilling. We never meet the targets because we don't really know what we're heading towards.
And just to add that, I often think that people get scared when they see the words marketing strategy, or I don't know what that is and I don't know what to do. It simply is a plan with a goal and an objective and a to-do list, that you then work through to try and achieve those objectives and that goal. So don't be concerned about that. And that's why we've tried to break it down into kind of a more simple form so that people can kind of just have a go at themselves.
Okay, some conversation starters that you could use in your social media content for the month. So what's your favourite thing? Obviously, we've got 3 bank holidays in May. So what's your favourite thing to do on a bank holiday? Might be go on a long walk, might be visit a you know, if you're a National Trust member, you might like to go to National Trust. So it could be things like that. Again, what is your top gardening tip? And then, are you celebrating the coronation? Which we just want to flag could be a controversial one for you. So there will be people out there that are for and against the monarchy, and just be aware that you can get some of that feedback back, and it, you know, you can either put yourself out there and say which side of the track you are yourself, but you don't have to. But it could equally be good for engagement in terms of getting some conversations out there. Again, just I think I say it every month, but try doing those coloured background, just pure text post for some of these conversation starters, because they really can help with engagement.
Yeah, especially on Facebook. So just wanted to flag, we use Canva quite a lot, and they have launched their brand hub. And actually, we should probably have got Imelda to talk about this, because this is much more her bag than it is mine and Emma's. But she was just sharing with us the fact that there's some new design features in there. So do go and have a look at what they've kind of done. So you can add in your logo and your brand colours and your fonts, and then you can create all of these brand templates in there. So if you're just starting out and you haven't got tons of cash to pay for a graphic designer to do all of these things for you, Canva is a really good alternative. And there will be options on the free accounts. We have a paid one because we think it's worth all of the other stuff that it gives us, and we create a lot of social media graphics in there. This presentation is created in Canva. So there's all sorts of things that you can kind of do in there. So do go and have a look at the new functions. They're changing things all of the time. And what just the other day? Oh, I noticed the other day that in a kind of real, so if you use something like CapCut, you can cut a video and you can make it switch when the beats in music change. And I noticed that Canva had kind of jumped on that, and they've added some of that tech into their stuff as well. So they move really quickly with the times. I think Canva, they always make sure they're up with the latest tech and what people need and want.
Okay. And then, as we said before, we can send you across a link to some graphic templates that Imelda has set up for you to use for the month. And here's just a couple of examples of the ones that she's done. Again, opening times is a real key one. If you haven't, remember to post if you are closed and would generally be open, or those kind of things, or if people need to get in touch with you in a different way, then that's a good thing to mention in your social media content. And so then finally, if you have any questions, just remember to hop over to the group. We'll always try and help in any way that we can. And if we don't know the answer, we'll try and hunt it out for you or point you in the right direction. But have a fantastic month. I hope that you manage to create your social media content and it doesn't cause you too much stress. We do have another service that we offer. So for £149, we will produce 12 social media posts for you, which will include graphics and a reel post in there. And a 12 posts would see you across a month, so that's roughly 3 posts per week. So if you're going on holiday and just not going to have time to do your own social media content, then feel free to get in touch. We just send you a little form with some details about what your business is, and then create. You can also use it to supplement your own content, so it could be that those 12 posts ends up lasting you 3 months because you use 1 post a week, and then supplement it with content of your own. So there's lots of different ways, but if you just feel like you need a little bit of a helping hand, then we can do that for you. Thank you for watching the video, and we will see you again next month.